Today on the Tom Kelly Show, the mayor of Boston uninvites all of the white people from her Christmas party. Plus, ladies and gentlemen, if we have time, we'll discuss why I do so much content talking about Long Island. That's a lot to tease on Christmas week. Let's start the show.
The Tom Kelly Show. Everybody, I want you to go to the Tom Kelly Show. I want you all to know about the Tom Kelly Show.
Here we go. Content warning. Spoiler alert. Somebody better tell the white people they weren't invited. You are experiencing the Tom Kelly Show. I should do more newsy stories. Newsy stories rate well when I don't have, if you wonder what works when I do this podcast, if this podcast still 3, almost 4 years later is an experiment on how to do a podcast. I mean, look, it's all, by the way, this is the Tom Kelly Show, the podcast where one comedian, Tom Kelly, reinvents his career, where he owns his midlife crisis. I'm a comedian from New York City and Long Island, and I used to work at a bunch of TV shows, and now I am podcasting alone in my apartment before they evict me to turn this into an Airbnb. A lot going on in my life, and just every now and again, when I do the podcast, I'll talk about a news story, and a lot of people get on board because they want to talk about this news story. And then sometimes I'll talk about my feelings, or I'll have a guest in. And the news story ones rate as one-time only hits because I think people want to go to a source of media that is talking about a story that's not on the media. And this is one that started on Fox News, and it has snowballed into a bunch of like weird white guys talking about it on TikTok, but not really getting attention elsewhere. And I don't want this to be a political talk show, though I have friends who have taken the I'm a white guy and I feel disenfranchised politics to places. But because I feel like I'm in the middle of the road, or I'm a good human being on my politics, and nobody wants to listen to the good human beings. Everybody wants somebody a little bit radicalized, and that's not me. Before I proceed, let me own this. This is the show where talking about this subject could cost me a job down the road. Talking about what I'm about to talk about could proverbially get me canceled, though the joke is, how much worse can cancellation be than podcasting alone in your apartment? You know, this is what cancellation looks like, the green screen. But I don't know, man. The world is going to some crazy places, and we're accepting crazy thoughts that, I don't know, we're building up a world where if I had kids, I don't know if I'd want them to live in it. And I definitely don't think I'm living the American dream now that my immigrant grandparents on both sides dreamed of. I want to start my remarks by saying I believe in inclusion. I believe America works when everybody is at the table and everybody feels like they have somebody at the table. You know, and the list of somebodies is getting longer and longer as we get older and we move into the 21st century. The news story here is Mayor Michelle Wu of Boston, a woman I've met, a woman whose in-laws I've spent a good few minutes with when I was working up in Boston. She has validated the fears of every slightly ignorant and racist person I know. Basically the mayor of Boston had, I want to read the story from Fox News. Let me read the story so I don't get in trouble here. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu has proudly posted a photo of all the attendees of her Electeds of Color holiday party, despite the gathering coming in for heavy criticism for excluding white lawmakers. Wu, 38, who's the city's first Asian American mayor, posted a photo to Instagram of 17 people smiling and sitting around a dinner table at the exclusive bash, which took place Wednesday. Last night was my turn to host the annual holiday dinner for Boston's elected officials of color, a special moment to appreciate that our affinity group now includes leadership across the state, city, county, and federal offices. Wu wrote in the caption alongside the photo. Earlier this week, this is where the story gets more colorful. Earlier this week, a member of Wu's staff mistakenly sent the entire city council an invitation to the party at the city-owned Parkman House near the Massachusetts State House, though I'm sure there are steakhouses in the area. Having realized the error, the aide sent out a second email 15 minutes later, apologizing for the initial email. The 13-member city council is made up of 6 minorities and 7 white members. It is understood that white members were not invited. While the mayor and her aide apologized for the accidental invite, they did not apologize for planning a party that excluded white city leaders. You know, and again, man, oh God, Amazon's telling me it's windy out. That's what that noise was. Listen, it's one thing to have a party and not invite any white people. Okay? You know, but it's another thing to have a party, accidentally invite the white people, and then uninvite them. You can't uninvite people to a party, especially along the lines of race and creed. You know, now, the difference between like old-fashioned racism and this woke racism that we accept is, you know, old white guys. You know, the old white men in the back of the room. And I don't think of myself as a white guy. I am an Irish-Italian immigrant. It was my grandparents on my Irish side. They, if not them, they had peers who had to deal with the Irish need not apply when they came over in the 1920s. Yes, 100 years ago, but good God damn it, I'm old. Okay? I'm old and descended from old people. You know, we've gone from Irish need not apply to white men not invited. You know, is this the American dream? You know, now the difference between old racism and this new racism is old white guys would go, oh, we forgot. Well, here's the deal. You forgot. And then you invited people, and then you intentionally uninvited. And again, and this party was on government property. You know, and here's the deal with Michelle Wu. I've met her. Pleasant lady. Met her up at a large event in Boston. I don't even want to drag. You know what? Yeah. The big event I did in Boston last year. You can figure it out. I don't want to drag other people into what might be a controversial opinion here, which is Michelle Wu went to Harvard. She married a white guy. I met and entertained her white mother-in-law and white in-laws at this event I did in Boston. Great people. They were fun. Very, I hate to say it, very Long Island mom. Very Long Island moms. Very Long Island family. Good people. Now, I don't know. Diversity works and America works when everybody is at the table, and you cannot have diversity. Listen, I'm the son of a woman who was a school administrator before it was cool for women to be school administrators. Actually, I get mad at my mother. My mother's like, yeah, women should rule the world. And I'm like, well, you know, women should rule the world. Yeah, well, guess what, Mom? You have 2 sons. And if you don't leave a few jobs for the men, you're going to be in a really cheap fucking nursing home. You know, I mean, for real. But for real, you know, how do we, you know, and the way the old white guys, and listen, I grew up in a town that was, you know, I grew up with, you know, people who we would call racist. I'm still friendly with some, not friendly with others. I feel like I've always been the voice of kindness, trying to infect people with my kindness. And the one rebuttal old racists have to bleeding heart liberals like me, as they call me, is, yeah, well, when they're in charge, they're not going to care about you. You know, I mean, listen, man, diversity works when we get people of all races, creeds, and colors to care about the issues affecting all people of races, creeds, and colors. I mean, you can't just uninvite all the white people from a party. I mean, especially you, Mayor Wu. What are you going to uninvite your in-laws from a holiday party? Like, I mean, you married a white guy. I mean, listen, you know, I really don't like hearing, yeah, look, I have friends who grew up in poor neighborhoods. They've dealt with real racism. They've dealt with getting pulled over by cops, just for being black guy in a car in a rich neighborhood. I have friends who've gotten side eye for being the black guy in the predominantly, if not all, very white neighborhood. Listen, the world needs fixing up. But Mayor Wu, you are a rich Asian woman who married a white guy who went to Harvard, an elite educational institution. Try not to play the exclusion card that hard. You know, if anything, I want to be in the clubs you're in. Don't cry, oh my God, I'm Asian. No, you're living the dream life. You are the fucking American dream. You know, and again, you're one of the youngest mayors ever. I mean, you're living a great fucking life here. Let's not play the woke card. Let's not play the suffering card so hard. Listen, I don't know who your grandparents are. I don't know who your parents are. I don't know how many generations your family has been in the States. And maybe there is a story of you're the American dream come true. Well, the American dream to work, to get people to care, is cranky old white guys vote. Cranky old white guys, you know what? We need to show them enough love and make them feel like they're a part of things so they don't go vote Trump or Mussolini or Hitler into office in 2024. And you throw a party. And I'm okay with not inviting white people. Listen, I believe in empowering. I do believe being the first of your family to be in a job is something to be celebrated. And I get that there are bonds amongst people. Listen, I always felt I bonded with my friend Vinny Colura because we were the two guys with Italian blood in us in summer camp. I listen, but you can't uninvite the white people. I mean, geez, and especially you married a white guy. What if your kids, your two sons, get uninvited for a party because they're not Asian enough? You know, I mean, not to bring it down those simple feelings, but yeah, man, what if they're not Asian enough for the Asian American party? And I say this as a man who's Irish and Italian and has been told along the years that I'm not Italian enough. Don't have the Italian last name. I don't look it. I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. You know, that's what you're doing, and somebody could do that to your kids. She has two sons, a 9-year-old named Blase and a 6-year-old named Cass. White dude names. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's rich. That's not Long Island names. That is like I came from old money names. Blaze or Blase, either way. That is like, I don't know, man. Yeah, you can't uninvite the white people. Though I'd love to see you do that as your, I don't know, I talked about it for 15 minutes. I'm very passionate about it, man. I'm sorry. I don't know. Let me just, I mean, if, again, I believe in a diverse table. I believe the world in leadership positions, not diverse enough. But it only works if we're all talking to each other and if we all feel like we're all going to make money on moving forward, and this is my joke is, I love my white privilege. I don't want to give it up. I want other people to have it. It's kind of like the American Express Platinum card. I want us all to have privilege, but I don't want to give it up. Don't take it from me, And for real, I say this as a guy who feels like he got fired or recast from a job for being a Caucasian male. You know, man, I've always voted for the right people. I've cared. I've listened. I've done my best. And you know what, man? If the 21st century is going to be a party, I'd like to be invited to it. Actually, that's the right way to say it, man. I'm a man who believes in diverse leadership. And if diverse leadership is a party, I'd like to feel like I'm invited to it, not excluded from it. Thank you, Mayor Wu. I'd love to attend your next holiday party. Do you listen to what it sounds like? We have to uninvite the white people. If I have to uninvite the Asians, I have to uninvite the black people, I have to uninvite the Jewish people, I'd be canceled. I'd be canceled. It's just not how the world works. But again, Mayor Wu, if you're throwing a New Year's party, I will come. Especially if I'm the only token white guy. How about that even? You need a token white guy besides your husband, because we know your white husband's washing the dishes. I don't know. That's just what that sounded like. That sounded like a joke, but no, for real, your husband's there because he has to. He's married to you. But you need a token white guy. And I am happy to be, America, your token white friend, to make your party look diverse, even when it may not be. Yeah, you have to invite some white people. This is a long rant, but oh my God, I'm definitely not getting to the dead guy thing. I want to see if this will turn itself into a TikTok later or into an Instagram reel later. But listen, folks, for those of you who've been supporting me on Instagram, I am TomKellyShow across the board. If you haven't watched any videos in a while, go check it out. I have a lot of little social media shorts. I'm doing well. People have been asking me, Tom, why are you doing so many videos about small towns on Long Island? Because that's what people are watching, liking, and sharing. I hate to say it, man. And at this point, I'm doing more of them because that's what's working. I'm a comedian. I've been on television. I've opened for the Jonas Brothers. I've opened for Taylor Swift, and nobody cares. You know what people care about? Me showing videos of me giving angry opinions about Long Island and then covering myself with pictures of places where people grew up. And suddenly people go, oh my gosh, that's where I grew up. Let me share the video. Listen, they say doing local comedy is the lowest form of humor there is. Well, guess what, people? Nobody likes my highbrow stuff, so I'm happy to pander to the bottom of the trowel. It's a joke. Hey, isn't the traffic bad on 495? That's an easy applause break. Well, guess what, people? I've done the highbrow stuff about my dating life going nowhere that has gotten no laughs and me no tail, but I will do easy jokes about how Massapequa needs more diversity. Or I don't know. I will do easy jokes that All American Hamburger is the best hamburger place in America. Yay! See, that's pandering. Listen, it sounds stupid. But if I want to, hang on, I wrote a script and this is for the podcast people. I apologize. But listen, if I show B-roll of Long Island landmarks that gets people nostalgic, that ropes them in. And then they go, ooh, Jones Beach water tower, yay, Listen, I have a podcast. I talk about other stuff. You guys are a part of it. I've been doing it for 3 years. The numbers have been loyal, but consistent. No huge spike, no huge growth. No, oh my God, we need to follow this guy. But what I love about my Instagram fans is they are so narcissistic that they'll only like my humor and commentary if I show pictures of places where they grew up. So here we go. I want to be viral today. I want to be viral. Watch, this is all I have to do. If I want to be viral on Long Island, I could tell an old-fashioned joke and, see if it catches on, see if it doesn't. But if I want to go viral on Long Island, all I have to do is take a clip and go Massapequa, Amityville, Yaphank, Sunrise Mall. Water Tower, Adventureland, Hooters, Farmingdale State, couldn't get into Hofstra. And then suddenly the hate mail and the little comments will start trolling in. And then Long Island Wise Guy will share me. And boom, next thing you know, I'm getting a free bagel at the Bagel Boss. There you go, people. I think that's enough of a show. Oh, save the chief. Save the chief. Yeah, there you go. Boom. That's another 100 likes in Massapequa right there. Save the chief. Actually, or also let me go the other way. Don't save the chief. Whatever it is, that'll get the commentary going. All right, folks, that's a show and a half. If you have thoughts on this, if you're on YouTube, you already have. Write a little note before. If you want to find me, I am Tom Kelly Show on TikTok, Instagram. Those are the two things I'm focusing on the most. And we have a secret little Facebook group where Tom Kelly Show fans talk to each other and we elevate the kindness. I know this was a little more of an angry show today, or a political show today, but maybe we got you all thinking. Okay, man? Listen, wherever you are, show love to whoever you can show the love to in all its forms. Good night, New York. Actually, good night, Boston. Good night, Mayor Wu. Good night. Again, token white guy available for your holiday parties.